These are the stories
My little girl, she's changing lives just by being herself.
of organizations and people making a difference.
When you first tell someone about adaptive wheelchair boxing, it doesn't sound real.
And empowering others.
It saved my life. It saved my life.
Across Canada.
I scored my first goal in my first blind hockey game.
In our community.
The people that you see in film are not representative of the community as a whole. There's very few representatives of the disability community.
The world in general is quite inaccessible for disabled folks. For acting, there's definitely a big gap there.
Hollywood has, and even stage theater, has been known for ableism. Ableism is a discrimination against people in favor of having an able body.
Like shows where there's a disabled character and they hire an able-bodied person and teach them to be disabled. Like, oh no, come on.
Only 2% of the characters on television are being characters with disabilities. Some 98% of those 2% are played by able-bodied actors. It's a huge oversight and a massive erasure. It sends a very specific message about our capabilities to even represent our own stories, to represent ourselves.
I think Realwheels is doing a great job of trying to help bridge that gap and bring actual disabled representation to the stage and to the screen.
We are in a beautiful dance studio with lots of natural light. We have about 8 students here and there's plenty of room to move around. And then I'm going to have you develop characters. My name is Harmony Rose. I'm a Realwheels Academy instructor, and today we're in the Intro to Movement class here at Realwheels Academy. Realwheels Academy is a great space for folks with disabilities to come and investigate acting on their terms.
All right, who's ready for a warm-up? Everything, again, can be done lying on the floor, sitting or standing. Breathing in, getting wider, breathing out, getting narrower. So just imagine we're all jellyfish.
When I'm on stage, even playing someone completely different, I get to feel the most myself. I am a person doing the thing they're best at, who knows that they are in their element. Okay, like that. Okay. My name's Emily Grace Brooke, and I'm auditioning for the role of a documentary subject. I am an actor in the Realwheels Acting Academy. I think I first became interested in becoming an actor. I was one of those kids that had like the cool dad that like let you watch stuff you really shouldn't have been watching. I think it was like more important to him that we had a sense of humor. I just knew that they were making me happy, and I wanted to be one of the people that made people happy. My disability is spina bifida. Spina bifida is actually a birth defect that causes disability. And most people will sort of ask some version of like, what happened? And the joke is I'll just say like, I was born, that's all. That's what happened. I was maybe 2 years out of film school, not knowing what I was gonna do next. I found these acting classes and I got accepted, I paid the money, and I thought I better just make sure that the building is wheelchair accessible. I was told that the building is 100% wheelchair accessible, no worries there. But just so you know, if you're in a wheelchair, we encourage you to drop this class. I mean, it was just one of those horrible moments where you realize why there are so few people like you trying. I wrote a Facebook post. If anyone knows of any acting classes open to an artist with a disability, please do, you know, I'd be very open to any suggestions. I'm feeling a little despondent. It was one of those posts. That's when someone told me about Realwheels.
And then come in and we're gonna make a small shape again.
It's been really kind of like a lifeline. A lot of us were not only coming out of disability-related isolation, but coming out of COVID isolation. It gives you that consistency of somewhere you're gonna go twice a week to work on something that matters to you. It's twice a week classes for 3 hours each. I know that there were a couple of dropouts in the beginning, people thinking that it was going to be a little bit more free form than it was. It's definitely a structured acting program.
We have 2 more ranges to go through.
This is a 3-year program, and there's acting, voice, and movement modules. Movement is so important as an actor because before you speak, before you read any lines, the very first thing you do is move. Movement is the underlying thing under everything.
What is high to you and what is low to you?
The goal is to teach you how to convey a certain emotional narrative with a certain movement. You're trying to make this bed, but you're a person who's just been told that their mother's dying. How does that change the way you're making this bed? How does your character's story change the way your character enters and exits the stage?
So later on, we're gonna talk about what kind of characters would move in tall, big, high-level ways, and what kind of characters move in small, slow, slinky ways.
Developing all of these different methods to categorize a character and understand how to change your voice, your body language, your movements, your actions to better embody that person.
All right, let's all pause.
Our community will return after the break. We now return to our community.
I think it's about exploring, just exploring your body as it is in space. So to be able to explore what those feelings are that come up when you do explore your range is informative for later on when you're trying to build your character. Yeah, I think it is a different atmosphere than other sports or organizations. And I think the main reason is how we have to move out of our comfort zone and try new things and explore new things with each other and in support of each other. My name is Jennifer Bergman, and I am an actor and a writer. Yeah, when I was a child, I always wanted to kind of go big or go home. So I always had these ideas that I would be famous one day. I'd be a famous actress or novelist. My cousins and my sister and I would go downstairs into our basement where there was a stereo, and we would do lip syncing and create little plays. All throughout school, I was always interested in theater, and in high school, I joined the theater group. In 2004, I earned a BFA in theater from Simon Fraser University. It was when I became an adult that I realized that the work that I was doing in acting and in writing was impacting other people. And that became really important to me, to share my experiences and perhaps support other people or let them know that they're not alone in the world with what they're going through. Writing has been the most important way to express myself, to share my experiences. Through my writing, I've done an awful lot of personal growth, and through reading other people's experiences from other marginalized communities has helped me grow as a person and develop a lot more empathy and compassion and understanding of people, other people in society. Late in the winter of 2009, I had a series of vaccines administered. And a few weeks after that, I developed a rare neurological autoimmune disease called Bickerstaff brainstem encephalitis. I had to be put into a medically induced coma for 6 weeks. I was hospitalized then for 18 months and then in rehab for about 2.5 years. I'm standing at the standing frame, relearning how to walk. One of the first things that I turned to after rehab was my creative side. And I started making masks, decorative masks. There's something magical about masks. Once you put a mask on, your personality changes. I'm working on a series of the elements: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. This one's going to be fire. I like the idea of taking a mask, putting it on, creating a character, and then being able to take it off again and become yourself again. So I have a Facebook page called A Day in the Life of a PWD, which is person with a disability. I share the giggles and gripes of everyday living, and I started putting my ideas into these comics, and they're basically about different struggles that we face in the community with attitudes and ableism. When it comes to auditions and casting, disabled people often find discrimination that is systemic, so it's very difficult for actors in the disability community to break into the industry. Recently, I had learned about Realwheels Acting Academy. My first reaction was to jump on it immediately, and I thought about it because I thought, it's been about 15 years, I'm very rusty. Is this something I still wanted to pursue in light of what I'd been through and how my life had changed? I decided, yes, absolutely it was. I missed it. And this is a perfect time for me to get out there, meet new people, and make new friends, enjoy a program that I'm passionate about.
Wobble and totter forwards in an indirect pathway like a toddler, learning to walk. A wobble and totter. And recuperate by sway, shake, and melt to a lower level. Nice. Let's come back together so we can have a quick discussion before the break.
Our community will return after the break. We now return to our community.
Hi, my name is Cadence Quibel. I'm an actor and a lot of other things. We didn't have a piano before, but then when we moved here, my aunt said we could have hers, so that was really nice. I was homeschooled for most of my life. I joined a theater group that was just for homeschoolers, basically because there was nothing else to do. Not nothing, but like, that's just kind of what all of the homeschoolers in the area were doing. It was a good outlet for me. I had a lot of energy, a lot of hyperactivity, and it was a place where it was not only permitted to be over the top and expressive, but encouraged. I did go to college right away out of high school, and it was a lot to take on, and I definitely got overwhelmed, especially since I did have a lot of physical health issues that I had been very much ignoring. One of the conditions I have is called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's a connective tissue disorder. My muscles are kind of working overtime trying to hold my joints in place. 2021 was kind of weird because it was the first year where I starting to, I don't know, feel better or do better. It was the first point in so many years where I felt like maybe I could actually take on something. I didn't know like what I would do, but I was just scrolling through Facebook and I saw this sponsored ad and I clicked on it and was reading more about it, and it's like, oh yes, this is a group for disabled actors, not just, oh, you're also allowed to apply if you're disabled, which is kind of what I'm used to. It was like, no, this is for disabled actors, and I was like, what? Like, no, okay, like someone's pranking me. There's so many aspects of it that were so perfect, like so tailored to something I would want to do. I thought, oh no, but I can't do it. It's too far away. Like there's no way I have the energy. What if I'm not well enough to do it? And then I have to drop out, and I let people down, and I kind of spiraled a little bit. My wife, Jen, always phones when she's done work at the end of the day to say like, hey, I'm coming home, do you need anything? So I go through the whole spiel about how amazing it is and how perfect it is for me and how badly I want to do it. And I'm like, well, it's in Vancouver. And she's like, and your point is? I'm like, well, I can't go that far, it's in Vancouver. She's like, go for it, like, you have to try this. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm trying this. I hadn't acted for almost a decade until I found out about Realwheels. As nervous as I was for the audition, I came away from it feeling so energized. I felt very seen. Especially after I went to the first class, I was very energized after that. Like, a whole room full of people with varying disabilities who all have a similar passion.
Part of acting is being able to make yourself vulnerable, and we've all done that. We've all been very supportive of each other. So I think as a result, we've grown closer.
With Realwheels Academy, as this group of people now with similar interests, it's so cool to make those connections.
So for this open improvisation, I want you to start off in one character, interact with the other characters in the room, and find a way to transform to the other character.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm scared.
I fear nothing.
Have your character started to transform yet? Let's meet the new you.
Hi.
Hello.
You said you have connections.
That was a different day, dear.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Please, for your own safety. Meeting people is dangerous.
Please.
All right, let's come back together.
You did. Cool, thank you, I tried. It was great.
How did that feel?
It was fun.
How did movement play into your character?
One of them moved very directly one way or the other and very confrontationally, and the other one I tried to make sort of slink a lot more and kind of weave behind people more.
Nice.
Yeah, my first one was sneaky, and I was trying to like kind of more move away from people until I was like, okay, I've got to do this, and then move towards people. But my second one, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna approach them. Or
you interacted with Cadence, and you were like, yeah, come check me out. Like, let's have this connection. Cadence gets more confident, then you're like, no, like, stop. Like,
that was
I don't
very
want to be.
Yeah, that was great. I was like, what is this?
Cadence was like, are you sure? Like,
Yeah. Just like, what? I worked really hard. Exactly.
If we could just, give ourselves a big hug, and then open up nice and wide.
I met Jennifer and Cadence both through the Realwheels Acting Academy, but I've been able to work with both of them outside of the academy. I was given the opportunity last year to write and direct a stage reading of an adaptation of A Christmas Carol.
The Christmas Carol production that Emily adapted and wrote was really fun to be a part of. It was the first time doing anything performance related in many, many years. I just want to do more and more of that.
I certainly hope that learning and being confident in your own body gives you a level of freedom. Maybe gives you a level of acceptance of your own body.
Confidence is always the biggest thing that you need to have as an actor. I feel like through acting, by pretending I'm confident, it's helped me actually become more confident.
Having that confidence to move your body and adapt is a skill that you can use in so many different situations.
I'm hoping other schools will recognize how important this is and how much talent and how many dedicated people there are. People with disabilities will be able to have the celebrity and fame and career options that non-disabled people have, and that representation will be just a given.
This wonderful ritual that this matters, that everything from the mundane to the ridiculous to the tragic to the epic to the humiliating. It's wonderful to be one of those people who gets to use their skills to whisper to people that they're not alone.
Producer Priyanka Desai. Director Danny Barish. DOP producer Ryan Ma. Editor Aram Cohen. Camera operator and sound Ryan Ma. Narrator Jim Van Horn. Production coordinator Priyanka Desai. Special thanks Jennifer Bergman, Emily Brooke, Cadence Quibell, Harmony Rose, Hannah Pearson, Thomas Moreka, Candice Konopaki, Aranka Bobby Lukash, Charlene Jacobson, The Post Vancouver. Integrated Describe Video Specialist Simone Cupid. Graphics Andrew Antonello. Content Development Specialist Sylvie Fiquette. Coordinating Producer Jennifer Johnson. Director Production Kara Nye. Director Programming Brian Perdue. VP Content Development and Programming John Melville. President and CEO David Arrington. Copyright 2022 AMI Accessible Media Inc.